Hi, welcome to the 8th episode of HI Hospitality Influencers. I have a very special guest, a mentor, a guide, and a person whom I met recently has given a lot of advices as far as the hospitality influencers are concerned. I'm introducing Mr. Sunil Gupta. He is the present, I will say that he is the present Secretary General for the New Tourism Foundation, and everyone knows him in the industry because he was the ex-CEO for the Welcome Heritage Hotels. A great gentleman, and so much of experience in the hospitality industry. I think it's more than 40 years he's been in the industry, and a person with a lot of knowledge in pre-opening hotels and etc. This is going to be a treat to watch Mr. Sunil Gupta presenting hospitality influencers, Mr. Sunil Gupta.
Good afternoon, friends, the boys and girls. Welcome to this great sector called the hospitality sector. It's really the biggest sector worldwide. It's part of a larger industry called service sector. Service sector which constitutes almost 40 to 45% of the GDPs in most of the countries. In countries like Hong Kong, hospitality industry alone is tourism alone is about 80% of the GDP. If you look at countries like Greece, that's about 40%, Croatia 28%, and India we are nearing 10% of the total GDP. It's a great sector, great place to be in, and it has a very huge promise as we move ahead in this sector. However, the recent events, the virus which has spread world over, has created a panic which caused the shutdown of the aviation, which caused the shutdown of the tourism, which actually brought this industry to halt because it's based on the entire concept of traveling, and traveling has been brought to the halt. As a result of it, the industry suddenly plunged to more than 80%. But having said that, viruses, antibodies or the vaccines for the viruses are found in a year or so. That means it will be bothering us for about a year or so, but as we move into the next year by October, things will start beginning to shape up this. And traditionally the hospitality sector has always been serving to the hotels, has been serving to the food and beverage, has been serving to the aviation sector, has been serving the travel trade so far. The boys and girls who were as part of this have been getting into these sectors and all that. In the last 10 years, we saw a large number of people getting into the retail sector also, which also brought in to a very big number of people also went into the BPO, the outsourced process units which were operating for the rest of the globe from India. But as I see, to my mind, this sector is now poised for growth into different segments. One of them prominent would be the healthcare. Healthcare, managing hospitals. Hospitals today are as same as hotels. While the doctors and the bio teams would do their role, paramedic teams would do their core jobs. For the shop floor management, for managing the housekeeping, for managing the check-in, check-out, the catering services, a large number of corporate hotels have started engaging with the teams which are now linking to the catering background or the hospitality background. Likewise, the retail management is taking shape seriously, and more people are getting into this service segment, this sector of the service sector segment, into the retails, because these boys and girls are trained for the hospitality. They know how to handle preempt the customer needs and then support him. Online management, as technology improves, as things improve, as things get to be everything online. Of course, this is another. The students need to train themselves for the technology. Beyond hotel management. But online management, I guess the 40% of our workforce would be required to be computer trained to take it forward. Research and surveys, I think our hospitality teams are best devised to conduct surveys. They understand how to carry out the surveys, how to arrive at the inferences and find out the results. And this will become a feeder team to be quite a few industries. Insurance sector, which will again open up. In India, it is just about 10% of the total requirement as of now. It has a huge space of 90%. So insurance sector is bound to grow. And most of the people who are getting engaged into the coordinators, into the relationship managers are from the hospitality sector. All they need is a little bit of a 2 to 3 weeks of training on the insurance patterns, etc. Bespoke events which are now getting reduced almost to the size of 50. While the size may get reduced to 50, but I don't think the guest wants a dilution in the experiences they have. So you'll have huge opportunity to design the events to match the requirements of guests. So if you sort of focus on the segments I've mentioned here, I think there is a great opportunity, great moving ahead. And as we move a year ahead from now, in addition to this, hotels will also be back with a bang. So enjoy yourself, have great time in this industry, and I'm sure you'll have great times to see ahead in life. Thank you and all the best.
The question has come from Hotel Starway. The question is, online channels like MMT and Yatra will again take 20 to 23% of our income. How to protect yourself from them? Can we have a universal negotiated commission rate for them for the whole country? So can I ask this question to Mr. Gupta, Mr. Sunil Gupta?
Well, I wish what he said is possible, universally accepted, but that's not true. I guess they are in their own business, hotel is in their own business, and because this industry operates on a very strange principle of competition rather than co-optation or collaboration. In a location where there could be 7 hotels, it's like, product going off the shelf. If there are 7 hotels and one guy in the same city is saying, look, from my hotel you can take 25% commission, and the other hotel is saying 20% and this saying 18%. Obviously, all these aggregators will push the hotel which gives them the maximum commission. So it's a very base kind of terminology. So if there is a universal approach to be adopted, it has to be location-wise, city-wise. If the hoteliers of that city say, look, to these aggregators we will not pay beyond this, is this. But going beyond this, having answered this question, going beyond this, I think there has to be a long-term perspective for this, and all hoteliers must look at revenue generated through the online channels, through the aggregator which take hefty commissions versus the direct booking. There are a whole lot of distribution channels which are available which can bring booking directly to you at a much lesser commissionable rates. They need to adapt and follow them rather than falling into the trap of these aggregators all the time. That's it. One of the things, if I can say here, one of the things is none of the hotels should think of reducing the tariff. Before 9/11 we had seen, after 9/11 we had seen most of the hotels have started competing, trying to get a larger share of the market, dropping the rates. It doesn't create additional market. Today you're selling room at 10,000 rupees, sell you at 5,000 rupees. It doesn't create anything. It only takes away the bottom line from your hotel. So
very correct.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Nilambaro, your mic is muted.
Yeah, thank you. So, Mr. Gupta, somebody was asking that whether since the business is going to be less, the cash flow is going to be less, whether we should raise the tariff. Talking about Mr. Gupta.
Well, depends. If he can add value to the services offered, he can definitely afford to raise the tariff. As I said, create demand just don't live on a simple business of where the hotel guest comes, utilizes the rooms and goes. Somebody did mention create 4-day night packages, 5-night packages, 7-night packages, relaxation packages, etc., etc. Create demand, create packages, create offers for your properties. Any company or any segment is based on the demand and supply. Nothing new about the tourism industry. Hotel demand is created by the phenomena called travel. And the travel has been halted by COVID-19. It has resulted in the zero occupancy for most of the hotels. As the unlocking begins, as we hope that one of these days it will gradually begin, the travel is likely for the business related, which requires physical presence. I mean, this may not really be a upper segment, upper management, etc., etc. This could be middle management, lower. In this segment also, it will be reduced by 60% as the meetings will get replaced by the virtual meetings, like the one we are doing now. For leisure, the travel may take longer to start and it may be related to medical, wellness and things like this. Leisure as such, people holidaying may take some time to surface up. So demand may sort of continue to be as low as 20% and it may take about 2 years to reach the pre-COVID era. This essentially would call for a button called reset code in a terminology of technology, where the cost structures of each organization, in case they have to survive, will have to be put this thing. Now, the step one has already been going on, seeking taxes and levies deferment, which is already in process. And the question was asked, what government likely to do? I guess government at best can do is the deferment. They'll defer it to July, August or September. But will they really give it a holiday? I have my doubts. That the most important aspect is for the hotels, especially which are independent or which are not so high-end ADR hotels, they will have to create a hub of 4 to 5 hotels and kick in this shared services concept. Now, when I say shared services concept, activities like... You want me to stop? I could hear some. For activities like, human resource, training, third-party IG material procurement, technology-driven distribution channels, there are a lot of back-end services which the individual hotels do not really have their own investments or spends or manpower deployed for that. They will have to create hubs and take the services from a common pool so that their cost structures come down quite drastically to sustain the levels of what the revenues are. They will also have to explore the alternate options for revenue, which is also, you can safely say, that create demand. We were used to the people traveling, coming, asking for rooms, booking, and then taking the room and going away, etc., etc. But essentially, I think the industry needs to look for generating revenue opportunities and demand for the hotel through creating some of the things which came to my mind. I noted down. Laundry can be extended to the city guests, utilizing floor for the long-staying city families or guests seeking social distances. Some houses may not be big enough, but they have the propensity to pay for next 2 to 3 months or 4 months or 5 months to hire a room. So if a price is leveraged to meet their requirement, it may this thing. Rooms can also be created alternate workspaces. Whichever offices were very tight in their spacing, they also would be, because they'll have to follow the social distancing. And for anybody to hire an immediate space and create a space, etc., the hotels are the best options. I mean, there is available inventory which can be immediately used. Some of the thoughts, but the major point here is create demand. The hotels have to create demand, generate demand for themselves, beyond the traditional modes. Moving forward, each hotel or each organization will have to structure a BCP, business continuity plan. When we say that the lockdown is being opened up and it's gradually start, there is no guarantee that just the mode is that set now will go. I mean, there's a whole lot of discussion, or it's a V curve, W curve, it may resurface, etc., etc. A whole lot of discussions are going on. So you will have to start preparing yourself for this new health and hygiene protocols, which I mean is like after 9/11, all hotels have these security setups, this, that, the other. In this, now you have to set up all health and hygiene protocols for guests, for employees. You'll have to redefine your operating protocols, processes, how to procure the materials, how to store the materials, how does it reach the room, how does the guest feel that it's been disinfected, etc., etc. Marriott has already come out with a plan where they are disinfecting the rooms with the hospital-grade disinfectants, where in hospital, when a guest checks out, the patient checks out, the room is disinfected. So similar kind of a process is being followed. So I guess these are going to be order of the day. Full-time medical assistance, no more, is that the doctor on call, maybe passe. You will have to assure the customer there is a full-time medical assistance assurance. Maybe, I don't know, for a larger hotel ambulance, maybe the need of the hour that station an ambulance in the hotel. Service with the human touch. Hotel industry, we have to have service with the human touch. But essentially now, but no contact element has to be brought in. The entire uniforms, everything will undergo a change. To prevent recurrence, which means immediate closure of the business, there's a caution here. The hotels will have to adapt a guest feedback strategy so that every guest feedback is taken at the hotel point. In these days of, where the media can take you viral in few seconds to all over the world. Case in point is the pizza boy who delivered pizza somewhere in Delhi. And all over the channels, it was that 72 houses quarantined, this happened, that happened, and all that. One small spark that your restaurant table or this guest caused this. Apart from the fact that the government will declare you hotspot for some time, etc., etc. So you will have to have guest feedback strategy and ability to deal with it. Social media strategy and guest feedback strategy will have to be dovetailed so that you are able to deal with it and move forward. The business doesn't face the closure or stoppage again as we have seen this. These are my inputs. This is what I thought. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sunil Gupta. You have given a lot of points, new insights on how.